Diagram: cave food web. The nutrients in guano, or bat droppings, and other materials are broken down and recycled by some cave creatures and microscopic organisms. These creatures are eaten by larger predators. Diagram labels: bats, frogs, small insects such as mosquitoes, gnats, glowworms, crickets, beetles, centipedes, spiders, tiny insects, mites, earthworms, bacteria, guano, minerals, matter carried by water, spores, mold, fungi, cave silt. Chapter 2: Dark and Surprising Places. Imagine going deep underground into the dark zone of a cave. There is no light and no plants grow. It is dark and silent, and the air is still. Life in the dark zone. Animals that live in the dark zone all the time are called troglodytes, or cave dwellers. They have adaptations such as small bodies, long limbs, and long antennae. They can pick up small vibrations or smells. These adaptations help them to move about and forage for food in the pitch-black space. Caption: this insect, called a dipluran, has long antennae and 2 tails. Many troglodytes have different adaptations from the animals that live above ground. Animals living in the dark zone usually have tiny eyes or no eyes at all, because eyes are not useful if you live in the dark. Most animals living above ground have coloring in their skin called pigment. Pigment is an adaptation to protect animals from the sun or give them camouflage. Pigment is not needed in the dark zone of a cave. As a result, some animals in caves have skin that is nearly see-through. These cave dwellers could not live for long in the world outside. Captions: this pseudo-scorpion has long pincers but no eyes. This adapted daddy-long-legs has long legs and a tiny body. It is also blind. Diagram: the zones of a cave. Diagram labels: Stygoxenes, Troglodytes, entrance zone, Stygiophils, Troglophils, twilight zone, dark zone, Troglodytes, Stygobites. Aquatic cave dwellers. Many caves have networks of underground streams and ponds. There may be aquatic animals living in and around the water. Aquatic cave dwellers that can't live outside the cave are called Stygobites. Stygobites include blind, pale-colored fish, salamanders with no eyes, and crustaceans with no pigment. Stygoxenes are aquatic creatures that come from outside the cave. Stygiophils are water lovers that may spend time outside the cave as well as inside it. Captions: the Texas blind salamander senses its prey moving in the water. This cave crayfish has no pigment. Extreme cave dwellers. Cave creatures have been found in unusual places. In 2001, tiny stygobites were found in caves under the desert in Western Australia. They looked like shrimp. Some caves provide even more hostile conditions. These caves are too cold, too hot, or too toxic for most cave creatures to live in. Yet microscopic forms of life have been found living in these places. Animals that are adapted to live in extreme conditions are called extremophiles. Caption: this scientist is fishing for aquatic animals down a hole drilled in the desert. Greenland's ice caves have frigid conditions. Most animals could not survive in them. but microscopic creatures have been found there. These creatures can cope with the cave's sub-zero temperatures. Cueva de Villaluz in Mexico is another extreme cave. It has fumes of a toxic gas called hydrogen sulfide. Scientists call the microbes that live on this gas names such as snottites, blue goo, and slime balls. Captions: Extremophiles live in Greenland's frozen ice caves. This type of bacteria in Mexico's Cueva de Villaluz lives on toxic gas. Conclusion: many cave creatures couldn't survive in our world. The adaptations that help them live underground would make it dangerous for them above the surface. How do we know which features of cave creatures are adaptations? And how do we learn how these adaptations help animals to survive? Scientists try to find the answers to these questions. They go underground to observe and photograph cave animals to find out about them. Animals living deep inside caves can't travel easily to other places. Scientists have found some rare species. They may bring the creatures up to Earth's surface. The scientists mimic the conditions of caves in laboratories and examine the creatures closely. An amazing range of creatures has been found in caves, but we don't understand everything about these animals and the way they live. There are still many things to learn about life in caves.
These last couple of pages include the glossary and the index. Remember, a glossary has the bolded words that occurred in the text with a definition, the page number that it occurs on, as well as the pronunciation guide. The index here just has some important words or phrases or things in the chapters and the page numbers that you can find them on. Thanks for watching.